Yeah, well, hi and welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. Um, well, the last presentation of the day. I hope you have still the concentration to listen to me. I want to present the results of my bachelor thesis, which had the topic to evaluate the effects of urban infrastructures of both heat and air pollution on heat and air pollution using the ENVI-met software. And as you can see in the title, they actually turned out to have a double-sided effects. How do I just click or? Okay. Just a quick outline of what I want to talk about. First, I want to warm you up and get you into the topic, talking about why it is relevant, why cities are relevant, and also the effects in cities. Then secondly, I want to present the case study that I analyzed during my bachelor thesis, and finally give you a quick outlook and discuss my results. And hopefully there will be also maybe a bit of time if you have any questions. So for the warm-up, cities during climate change. Maybe some of you already know that more than half of Earth's population lives in cities, and these numbers are actually growing. And this means that making cities a place to live in, to be at comfort, to be happy is just crucial for our societies. However, cities experience two main effects. So first of all, the urban heat island, and secondly, the urban pollution island effect, meaning that mostly the most dense areas of cities are warmer as well as more polluted than the surrounding areas, and this causes about 7 million deaths per year. And these effects, so urban heat and urban pollution, are caused by three components, which were found by the IPCC. So first, there are the human emissions. So within cities, there are cars, there's air conditioning, there is also some local industry, and all these emit both heat as well as air pollution. Secondly, the human infrastructures have often a lower albedo, meaning that heat is accumulated in, or energy, it's warming within cities. And also, which is a very important fact, is that the geometries of the city block the ventilation that would normally be able to get both heat and pollution out of the cities. And thirdly, there is a lack of natural cooling. So there are less water bodies as well as green infrastructures, which could evapotranspirate. And for my thesis, I concentrated on the possibilities that we have to reduce pollution and air temperatures, which where one opportunity is if there is lack of natural cooling, maybe it could help to increase that again. So there is this opportunity of urban green infrastructures. And they are beneficial because they can reduce temperatures via shadowing, as well as evapotranspiration, and reduce pollution via dry deposition, and also serving as barrier next to a road. So, yeah. However, there is a big challenge with green infrastructures, which maybe not everyone is aware of. This main challenge is that they reduce the ventilation even more. So as you can see in the graph over here, when we plant a tree in the middle of a street canyon, it is often that the pollution is not taken by the dry deposition, but rather it increases because the ventilation is blocked and all the pollutants are accumulated underneath those trees. So that is why planning green infrastructure very carefully before implementing is crucial to well, to get the best benefits for human health. And there is one opportunity to analyze that before implementing the green infrastructure, which is by modeling. I mean, I guess we're all meteorologists, so we know about modeling. And there's one model which is called ENVI-met, which I used for my thesis. And it's a microclimatic model to plan climate resilient cities. And it's often used by city planners as well. It includes an atmospheric model and is coupled to a building, a vegetation, and a water body model. Yeah, that's just as a quick warm-up and overview. And now I want to continue with my case study. If any one of you wants to know where exactly it is, I put a QR code to Google Earth. There you can see it as well. Well, my study area was the city of Bologna. And this city is an Italian city lying between the Apennines and Alpine mountain chains, which is called, or the valley it is lying in is called the Po Valley. And the problem there is that both heat and air pollution is trapped within the valley. So it is even more prone than some other cities to air pollution and heating. And within Bologna, I chose the Marconi, the Via Guglielmo Marconi. I hope I pronounce it well. And I chose the time because there was data available to validate my model. So I modeled the 22nd of December from 2017. And I set up the model by integrating the geometries, the meteorological forcing, and also a database. So I included the albedos of the walls and the surface. Also, I included trees, which were already in the street, so you can see the vision of the street over here. So I included also the trees, and also the local traffic, so the measurements of local traffic, how many cars and vehicles are driving there. And with those information, I set up a base case model, which I validated with the data that I had. And then after validating my base case, I created the, for me, most interesting scenarios, having two questions in mind. So first of all, I wanted to know how the existing structures, so the trees and palisades, which are you can see it in the upper picture over there, palisades are just walk-throughs which are underneath the buildings at the right-hand side of the picture that you just saw. And so I want to know what these existing structures are doing. And secondly, I wanted to know if urban green infrastructures has the potential to reduce both temperature and carbon monoxide pollution levels. Yeah, now we come to my results, or I want to come to my results. For temperature, I found, so this is the base case model, and below are the different scenarios compared to the base case. So as you can see for the base case model, the palisades, this is at 4 p.m., so where temperatures tend to be highest. And as you can see in this graph, but also the mean, the average daily mean showed that the palisades were not able to cool the temperatures. So the shedding of the palisades was not enough to cool. And yeah, so that is for the palisades, they were not able to cool. For the trees, I found that they had only a daily average insignificant decrease of temperatures in the at pedestrian level. However, they were able to, as you can see here, to cool directly below. So imagine a person walking underneath the trees, then they actually do have a cooling effect at that location. For the hedges, I found that there was less decrease in temperatures compared to the trees, but they still had the opportunity to cool at least a little bit. And the green walls were able to cool most, so they cooled the whole canyon mean temperatures. Yeah. However, for all these temperatures, I want to mention that they are not very significant. So there's just a decrease of about 0.5 degrees. So yeah, they are able to decrease mean temperatures, but just very, very slightly. This is one part, and the second part was the carbon monoxide pollution levels, which I personally found most, well, shocking actually, I must admit, because I thought that planting green infrastructures would reduce pollution levels. However, I found that it was the opposite. So in this scenario, the planting the trees actually increased, or all others as well, increased carbon monoxide pollution levels significantly. So they reduced the ventilation as much that worst were the trees because they had the most blocking or have the most blocking effects on ventilation, followed by hedges, and green walls were, at least at that part, they had the least increase, but still increasing carbon monoxide pollution levels. But before I lose myself in many details, just let me give you a quick overview of the results. So I found that trees can slightly cool the area, mainly underneath, directly underneath them, whilst increasing carbon monoxide pollution levels most. The palisades had no significant thermal benefit, which might also be because of the location of the palisades that I analyzed. As you could see, they were directly prone to the sun at highest temperatures. And for the urban green infrastructure scenarios, I found that the hedges or implementing hedges could cool slightly, and they also could serve as a barrier directly next to them. So when the street is on one side and then there is the hedge and people are walking on the other side, then they could also serve as a barrier to carbon monoxide pollution levels. However, they also increase the carbon monoxide pollution levels within the whole street. And for green walls, I found that they do have an effective cooling inside of the whole street canyon, and also being least in increasing carbon monoxide pollution levels. So for this case, maybe green walls could be the best way to choose as urban green infrastructures. However, please keep in mind again that the carbon monoxide pollution levels are still increased via the green walls. So evaluating this further is very, very crucial. And this also brings me to my key takeaway message that these existing and implemented urban green infrastructures in Marconi and Bologna were found to insignificantly reduce the temperatures while significantly increasing carbon monoxide pollution levels. And those results are not results that I found, that only I found, but the literature also tells that the reduction of ventilation via green infrastructure is actually often found to be more impacting than they can reduce the pollution via direct reposition. And hence, the choice of urban green infrastructures need to be made very, very case specific and very, very careful with good planning. So I just put 3 examples there. Green walls might be best in a very steep street canyon to reduce temperatures and carbon monoxide pollution levels, as in my case. However, if there is a large space, then trees can be best. So if there's a large space and little vehicles driving through, then trees could be best to reduce the temperatures underneath them. And it's also good for the mental health to walk under them. And thirdly, hedges might be best next to a big railway to serve as a barrier. So it's very important to choose urban green infrastructures carefully, case specific, and also to analyze the situation to really understand how ventilation goes. Yeah. And before I finish, I just want to acknowledge all the people who helped me during this thesis, and yeah, basically people from the University of Cologne and Bologna. Without them, I couldn't have managed that. And yeah, with this, I want to finish. Thank you all for listening. If you have any questions and want to discuss anything, please go ahead.